friends, and it's Susan here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm just going to do a little bit of just preparing for fall. I have done my mantle. I haven't taken anything out of my boxes yet, but I'm going to be doing that soon. And today I'm just going to be doing a little bit of DIYs and show you how I make a plum cake. Getting ready for fall. There's nothing better than plum cake. Come into the garage, and these are all my bins for fall. I think I've got 3, 6. I'm not sure. Maybe they're not all fall. I'll have to look. And then I opened this, and I found my beautiful leaves. Look at these. They're so beautiful. I get so excited when I open a bin and find my decor. Where did I get this? I can't even remember. Probably Winners. Then I found this beautiful piece. It's vintage. I found it in the barn, and I couldn't figure out what it is. I thought it might have been trim for the ceiling, but no, it's above the doors. You know how people have these things above the door frames? There was tons of them. So I'm going to clean it up, and then I'm going to I don't really want to touch it, but it's very, very creamy looking. I might have to just touch it up with a little bit of whitewash. And then I want to put 5 knobs along this area so that I could hang things on it. And then at the very top, I was going to just stick pictures on it, like a picture frame. I would have loved it if it was longer. It's only 45 inches, and I really wanted something to go right across the whole wall. But this is going to do for now, and I just love it. I got this really cool bin, and I've been looking for something like this because it has a flat top so you can store things on top of it, and has 2 drawers, pretty good size deep acrylic drawers. So what I want to do is put my baking stuff in this, and here's all my cookie cutters. So I'm going to see if they all fit in, hopefully, because some of these are really big. Plan B. I bought this bin at the dollar store for $5, and I'm going to put all my cookie cutters in there. So I'm just going to put in my sprinkles. So I had bought these at the dollar store, like I had said, and just going to put them in here. Not going to color coordinate them at all. Just put them in. Here's some Christmas. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dry brush this little mantle shelf thing, because I want it more white, and this is more of a cream color. Let's see how it goes. I can always distress it after and pick off all these things. I decided I was going to try this Pottery Barn Dupe and add some paint and some baking soda. I mean, the black pumpkins were really nice. It's just, I thought I'd try doing it with that like pottery, that terracotta look. So I just added some paint and some baking soda. And I had 3 of these pumpkins. They were all black and I wanted the Pottery Barn look. So I added this paint by Sherwin and it is called Pottery Urn. I went to Home Depot and they made me a little like a little sample. Sherwin here in Canada doesn't have little samples, so I went to Home Depot. And so here I'm just adding some baking soda, and then I'm going to paint all 3 pumpkins, and then I'm going to try putting the flour, dusting the flour on top. What has happened is when I put the flour, I mean, it can come off so easily, so I decided to use a matte spray paint. Well, of course, you add dampness to the flour and it dissolves. So I was reading all about it and it says to use a fixative. I wasn't going to go to that length, so I just left it the way it was. And if I have to add more flour, I will. I'm so happy I found this color. I think I found it on Pinterest. Some lady was doing her pumpkins terracotta Pottery Barn Dupe, and she had the perfect color she found instead of mixing a bunch of colors, because I had bought at Michael's 3 or 4 different shades to mix together, and I'm really glad I found this information. It is the most perfect color. So when it's partially dry, I'm going to sprinkle some flour over top of the pumpkin, and then I'm just going to let it sit for a few minutes, and then I'm going to try to, you sort of rub it in with your hands, or you can brush it off with a brush. But of course, you know, it's not going to stay for long. So like I said, I'm not going to go into getting fixatives to do this. I'm just going to leave it natural the way it is, and if I have to add some more flour, I will. But it's just a decoration, so it's not like you're going to touch it all the time. So next I'm going to show you how I do these 2 little pumpkins. I've already had these for a while, and I thought I would do the same Pottery Barn Dupe to these and paint them with the Pottery Urn paint. So this time, instead of using flour, I'm going to attempt to dry brush it with some creamy white paint. So, I mean, if it doesn't work out, you can always repaint it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of paint. I'm going to, put it on the paper towel to just give it a drier texture, and I'm going to paint in between the lines and just give it that dimension. And I found the best thing is after I paint it to use a damp cloth just to rub it in a little bit so it doesn't look so painted. And I'm going to do that to all the crevices, and then I'm going to just use a bigger brush and I'm going to dry brush the whole pumpkin. Hey, I think it looks just the same as if I had poured flour all over it. And now let's get into the plum cake. So in a bowl I'm using 2 eggs, going to be adding 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of water, and a half a cup of oil, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and in another bowl I'm going to add 2.5 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar, then I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients and mix thoroughly. Then I'm going to grease a 9x11 baking pan. So I used about a little bit more than 3/4 of a container of the little prune plums. I'm going to clean them, wash them, and then half them. Take the pits out. And then I'm going to cut them in half. I'm going to add a big tablespoon of cornstarch. It always helps the fruit from not getting too liquidy and making the cake mushy. Then I'm going to add the plums. Then in a separate bowl, I'm going to add 1 cup of flour, half a cup of white sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, and 1 cup of oats. Now this is the Streussel that goes on the top of the cake. I usually use half a cup of melted butter. I had no butter, so I tried using sunflower oil, and it worked just as good, but I do prefer butter. I'm going to just mix it thoroughly until it gets to sort of a paste, and then I'm going to use my fingers to sprinkle it on top of the cake. Thanks for joining me in that video, and I hope you enjoyed it and it gave you a little bit of inspiration to bake a plum cake. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Get ready for fall.